The metric system. The metric system is an international system used to measure length, weight, and mass in volumes. It uses a base 10 system, so it's usually used expressed as decimals instead of fractions. And using different bases for the different types of measurements, they just add the prefix in the beginning of those bases to represent larger or smaller quantities. Basic base measurements are meters to measure length, grams to measure weight or mass, and liter to measure volumes, usually liquid measurement. The prefixes are given as kilo, hecto, deca, and then whatever the base is, that's either the grams or meters or liters. And then so the kilo, hecta, and deca are larger by some factors of 10, some powers of factor of power of 10. The deci, centi, and milli are less than the base by, again, a factor of some power of 10, and then the micro is smaller than the base by a million times smaller than whatever the base might have been. So here are the actual measurements that we're looking at. Kilometers, kilograms, and kiloliters would represent 1,000 times the base, meter, grams, or liters. The common ones in allied health are usually the kilometers, meters, centimeters, or millimeters in terms of the measurement of weight. The kilograms, the grams, and the milligrams, and in terms of the measurement of liters, the volumes, we're looking at kiloliters, liters, or milliliters, mainly liters and milliliters. Another popular measurement is a cc, a cubic centimeter. So in health science, we look at a cubic centimeter as a cc, and that is equivalent to 1 milliliter. Unit conversion, when we're converting within the metric system, it really, again, is because it uses the base 10 system, it converts between between the different measurements by powers of 10. So that's equivalent to multiplying or dividing by some power of 10. And so what that turns out to be is a simple movement of decimals or bumping decimals. And we basically move the decimal point to the left or to the right by whatever power of 10 we're converting to. Some common conversions, a 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters. 1 kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meters. Kilograms, 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1,000 grams. 1 gram is equivalent to 1,000 milligrams, and 1 milligram is equivalent to 1,000 micrograms. The symbol for micrograms is mcg, or they use the Greek letter mu, mu-g. Common units of volume conversion, milliliter is equivalent to 1 cc. 1 liter is equivalent to 1 milliliter, and so that is equivalent to 1 liter is equivalent to 1,000 milliliters, so that is going to be equivalent to 1,000 cc's. When we're converting, we take advantage of the idea that it's a decimal or a base 10 system. And so if we're looking at the base, for example, the base that we're looking at is when we move from the base to a kilogram, for example, we're moving 3 places, and this is going to grow by 10 to the third power. And if we go down lower, it's going to be a negative 3 places, so that grows to the negative power. And so when we're looking at the conversions power of 10, we can look at the number of places we need to move from the base. Actually, a better way to look at it is the number of places we move from whatever it is we're converting from to whatever it is we're converting to. So let's take a look at some examples. We have 6.78 milligrams. Let's convert that to micrograms. This is the other symbol for micrograms, mu and g. And to convert this, what we need to do is we need to find the relationship between the milligrams and micrograms. So if we take a look at the milligrams to the micrograms, we can imagine that we're going to move 3 units, 3 powers of 10s from the milligram to the microgram. And we should also note that since a microgram is a smaller quantity, we would have more than 6.78 as in terms of a quantity for the microgram. So we imagine taking a look at the decimal place movement from milligrams to micrograms as 3 movements, and this is going to the right. And so we take our decimal point, which is between the 6 and the 7, and we move it 3 units to the right. And when we move it 3 units to the right, we see that there's going to be an extra 0 there that we need to fill in as another placeholder. And that's going to give us our measurement in micrograms. So our answer should be 6,780 micrograms, and that's equivalent to 6.78 milligrams. Another example, let's take 550 milliliters and convert that to liters. Again, we look at the basic prefixes, and we go from a milliliter to the base, just regular liters, and we notice that this is going to be a movement of 3 places, and we're going to the left to a larger quantity, so 550 milliliters. The quantity 550 would be associated with milliliters, and so we would have a smaller quantity here in terms of liters, because 1 liter is going to be equivalent to 1,000 milliliters. So we imagine taking our value, our numerical value 550, and identifying that our decimal place is right after the 0 in the 550, and then we're going to move the decimal place 3 units to the left to get that smaller quantity, and so we get 0.550 liters, or just equivalent to 0.55 liters. Another example, we're taking 240.5 centimeters and converting that into meters. Again, looking at the base now, the centi is next to the milli, but it's 2 places away from the base, which is in meters. So we're going from centimeters to meters. We're going to have a movement of decimal place 2 units, or 2 places from our decimal point. So our decimal point is sitting between the 0 and the 5. We move that 2 places to the left to get to our meter measurement, and that's going to be 2.405 meters, and that's equivalent to 240.5 centimeters. One more example, we have 1,000 micrograms. We want to convert that to grams, and so what we need to notice is that to go from a microgram to a milligram is 3 decimal places, and then to go from a milligram to the base grams, that's another 3 decimal places. So we have a total of 6 decimal place movements from our micrograms to the grams. And so given that we have our 1,000 micrograms, we take our decimal point, which is after this last 0 in the micrograms, and we move it 3 units. So we move it 3 units and you get 1, so that would be 1 milligram is equivalent to 1,000 micrograms. But then we go another 3 units to get to the base, And so if we move 3 units to the left, we're going to have to fill in a couple of other zeros here. So we need to drop some zeros, and we finally get a 0.00100 grams, and that's equivalent to just 0.001 grams. So 0.001 gram is equivalent to 1,000 micrograms.